Hi, my name is Dr Alikhani. I am Dean and Professor at CTOR Academy, and I'd like to welcome you to another session of CTOR channel. Today, as part of the biology in orthodontics, we are going to focus on sutural response to mechanical stimulation. If you remember, maxilla is surrounded with the sutures. When we are applying a transverse forces, what happened in these sutures? This question is very important because it defines how clinically we can apply orthopedic forces efficiently to address the skeletal problems of our patient. Traditionally, it has been taught that when we are applying a force on the maxilla, it's displaced physically, and then due to the tension that appears in the suture, the bone forms and the connection between two hemimaxilla occurs again. Is this concept correct? Current research do not support this view. Response of the maxilla to transverse forces is not just physical, it's actually a biological reaction. When we are applying a transverse force to the sutures, doesn't matter which suture we are studying, we can track an inflammatory response as soon as the force is applied. In another word, we have a response to trauma. Application of cytokines, the inflammatory markers, follows with activation of osteoclasts. So you can follow the marker of the osteoclast in a couple hours to days after application of forces. The osteoclasts start to resorb the bone and start the remodeling of the sutures. This is very important because they provide the space that maxilla will move in response to transverse forces. In absence of this osteoclast activity, the displacement of the maxilla will be only bending of the bone, as the in vitro study demonstrated. That's limited, and beyond that can cause fracture of the dry skull, for example. However, in vivo, the suture plays a significant role by activating the osteoclast to make sure that the stress disappears and does not transfer to the adjacent bone. This is very clinically important. It means that you need to provide enough time to allow the osteoclast to provide the space and the maxilla adapt to the force that you are applying. Therefore, whether you are using tooth-borne or tissue-borne expanders connected to the tads or connected to the tooth, in both conditions, you need to apply your force slow enough that activation of the osteoclast prevent the force to transfer to the adjacent bone. What happens after the osteoclasts are activated? After osteoclast activation, they will send the signals for activation of osteoblasts. In another word, the bone-forming cells appear later in response to transfer forces, not right away. This research demonstrated that the biological response in suture is composed of two main phases. Phase 1, catabolic phase, that the osteoclasts are the main role player, and the phase 2 are the anabolic phase that the osteoblast plays a significant role. Let's look at the clinical application of the current finding in the sutures. First, make sure that you not apply high magnitude of forces that can be damaging. Second, make sure that you apply these forces in a slower rate to allow the osteoclast to protect the adjacent bone. Third, if you are looking at the widening of the suture, that's not because the maxilla has been displaced. It's because the osteoclast has opened the sutures. So that should not be considered as a sign of magnitude of displacement of the maxilla, but the lower bone density to the osteoclast activation. That's provided space in the direction of the movement. Fourth, the mid-palatal suture is not the main player during the expansion. You can see that in the patients that actually don't have mid-palatal sutures, like a cleft patients. surrounding sutures are playing an important role, especially zygomato-maxillary suture that should be studied. Those sutures, even though they are not in the tension side of the stress, it's a combination of tension and compression, still they demonstrate high magnitude of the bone formation after widening of the suture, which demonstrate tension is not the direct cause of bone formation, but bone formation is a delayed reaction in response to activation of osteoclasts. If you are interested to learn more about biology of suture in response to transverse forces, please follow the link in the screen. It will take you to the articles that has been published in this regard. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And please don't forget to press the like button. Thank you.